It was supposed to be just another ordinary Saturday evening. Nothing unusual, nothing special. I had planned a quiet dinner at home, hoping to unwind after a long, exhausting week. But that evening would change everything. I had been in a relationship with Ethan for more than 2 years. He was everything I had ever wanted: kind, loving, supportive. We had our ups and downs like any couple, but I always believed in us. We lived together in a small apartment in the city, and although we had our occasional disagreements, I thought we were happy. I had no idea that illusion was about to be shattered forever. It all began with an innocent lie. One night, after a few glasses of wine, I made a decision to meet someone I hadn't seen in years, James. He was an old friend, someone I had been close to during college, before life, relationships, and time slowly pulled us apart. The idea of catching up and reminiscing about the past seemed harmless. We arranged to meet at a bar just down the street, somewhere I figured Ethan would never think to look for me. I told Ethan I was going out to meet a friend, but left out the specifics. I thought it would be easier to keep it vague. James, I spent the night talking, laughing, and reconnecting. The chemistry between us was still there, the effortless conversation, the familiar comfort. It didn't feel wrong in the moment, but deep down, I knew it wasn't the smartest decision. The night ended with a hug and a promise to stay in touch. But that was when the trouble began. I returned home later than I had planned. Ethan was sitting on the couch, his eyes narrowed with suspicion. The moment I walked in, a wave of guilt washed over me. He had always been able to read me like an open book. There was no hiding anything from him. But I wasn't prepared for what happened next. "I saw you," Ethan said, his voice cold and steady. My heart dropped. My mind scrambled to process his words. "Saw me where?" I asked, trying to sound casual, though I knew lying was pointless. "At the bar," he replied, each word cutting through the silence. "With James." I froze. How did he know? Had he followed me? I didn't think you'd mind," I stammered, but even as the words left my mouth, they sounded empty and weak. I had been caught. Ethan stood up. His face had gone pale, but there was no anger in his eyes, just something far worse: hurt. His expression was unreadable, a haunting mixture of disbelief and pain. He didn't shout. He didn't cry. He simply stared at me, waiting for an explanation. "I never thought you would do this," he said quietly, his voice trembling. "I trusted you, and you betrayed that trust." I opened my mouth to explain, to apologize, but no words came. The guilt was suffocating, and deep down, I knew that no explanation would ever make this right. Then Ethan did something I never could have expected. Instead of leaving in a rage, instead of yelling or throwing things, he simply turned and walked to the bedroom, closing the door softly behind him. I stood there, frozen in shock, trying to comprehend what had just happened. The silence in the apartment was deafening. I had ruined everything. The hours dragged by. I waited for him to come out, to say something, anything, but he didn't. He remained behind that door, silent. I eventually fell asleep on the couch, the weight of my actions pressing down on me like a stone. When I woke up the next morning, Ethan was gone. His things were packed, his clothes, his personal belongings, everything. He had left behind a simple note: "I can't do this anymore. I can't be with someone who doesn't respect me." I never heard from him again. What broke my heart wasn't that he had left. I knew I had driven him away, and I understood why he couldn't stay. What hurt the most was that he didn't fight for us. He didn't scream. He didn't beg me to fix things. He didn't even give me a chance to make it right. He simply walked away, leaving me to live with the consequences of my actions. I spent the next few weeks in a fog, haunted by regret. Every moment, every decision, every lie. I tried reaching out to him, but my messages were met with silence. Ethan was gone, and so was the trust that had once been the foundation of our relationship. I realized too late that I had lost him, not just because of what I had done, but because of what I hadn't done. I hadn't fought for him when it mattered most. And so I learned that sometimes the deepest heartbreak doesn't come from betrayal itself, but from the quiet acceptance of it, the silent realization that the person you loved had already let go long before you did.